to stop it. It's that.
There, it's all right. Good morning, Australia.
Oh, good morning. I'm cold.
I'm hot.
Yeah, well, yes, you are.
Well, what can I say? Oh, mercy. So what's the temperature in good old
Well,
Oz?
in real life language is 5 degrees. In your language is about 45.
You absolutely kill me when you do that.
Well, you Americans just have to be different, don't you?
What can I say? I guess we do. I guess we do.
You do.
It doesn't mean that it's wrong. Different means
No, no,
different.
no, 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 no. It's
Different
just
means
different.
different.
It's
That's all
just
it
it's
means.
just It's just American.
It's an American. You ought to try being in Texas. That's another planet unto
Oh,
itself.
bigger and better in Texas.
Oh no, it's crazy here. Good old Texas crazy. So it's like hot here. It's almost summer. It's probably 90 something degrees
Ooh,
Fahrenheit.
wow,
You can do the math
wow.
in Celsius. I
Well,
can't
well, well, it's
because
winter
it's
where
Texas.
we are, but I've just come to an even colder spot for 3 days. I'm in a caravan park staying with my son Emilio because he's doing a soccer tournament for 3 days.
Oh.
So I get to watch soccer for 3 days.
Well, good
Yay!
on you. I think that's fun.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, I would like that.
As long as I've got my scarf and my gloves on, it'll be fine.
Yes, yes, and a nice cup of hot something warm.
Yeah. Well, also I've just been fasting for 5 days. So today is
Oh,
my first day of eating, so I'm looking forward to it.
how do you feel?
I feel great. Fantastic. I mean,
So,
it was a bit hard on the first 2 days, but
hmm
once I jump over that hurdle of the second day, it feels great.
hmm So, what will you do to break the fast?
Well, usually what I would do is I would have juices. But I don't have my juicer here. I'm in literally in a little caravan park in a cabin.
Mm.
So we're going to go. We search for a healthy cafe. So we're going to go and have a green smoothie.
Well, there you go.
Hmm.
That sounds good.
And apparently that's really good for pre-soccer nourishment. So
Oh,
we're both going
good.
to have a green smoothie. Yeah.
So, just you did the fast. Emilio didn't do the
No,
fast.
no, no. Me didn't do fasting.
Okay.
No, just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Good on you. I thought you
Yeah.
looked a little different.
Got more gorgeous.
You more gorgeous and just a healthy glow about you. Of
Oh
course, I
well,
was looking at that
I
glow
think
up
that's
here.
a fluorescent light above.
So, oh, you kill me. What are we doing today?
Well, today we're going to look at some eyes and we're going to chat about them.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think our audience loves that too.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I
Had some
get
good
we get a
comments
lot of
about that.
feedback.
Yeah.
If you look into the on the YouTube site, we get a lot of feedback. Like, I really like that. Thank you for posting
Yeah.
that. That really helped me.
And remember, if you're on YouTube watching this, give us a thumbs up
I would
because
take two thumbs
more
up.
people can see us.
hmm
Even a
hmm
double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. There you go.
A
Yeah, I'm
comment,
glad
a
you
comment
remembered
as
that.
well is even better.
Yes, we love to hear
Shall
from you. We love to know where
I share
you're
my
viewing
screen?
this from.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Let me share the screen, shall I?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
There we go. Oh, aren't
Oh,
they lovely eyes? I
those are
love them.
beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about these eyes?
Well, I mean, obviously they're lymphatic, but there's a yellow sort of a yellow overlay on it, which makes them look hazel.
hmm
Um, so I would say they're kidney lymphatic. In
Kidney
integrated
lymphatic,
oncology,
yes.
we learn kidney lymphatic. Yeah, so I
hmm
would say kidney lymphatic. So kidneys are her primary nurture point. This is a girl.
Absolutely.
It's
Yep.
actually my youngest daughter, Zoe.
Little
Um,
Zoe. That's
and
my
and the,
butterbean.
yeah,
She's my
she
butterbean.
loves you. And these
I tell
photos
you.
were taken by Ellen when we visited her recently.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, that's why they look so good then.
Yeah, they're great photos.
Yeah.
So kidney lymphatics, their primary nurture point is the kidneys, and that's my primary nurture point too. I'm this type as well.
Okay.
What would you say about them, Kathy?
Well, I love going to the behaviors. I love looking at the behavioral signs. Um, One of the things where I see that we have a commonality That's going to be probably on that left eye at about 10 o'clock over here.
Yeah.
And let's go back over here to this right, probably at about 2. So 2 o'clock and a 10 o'clock. That's going to
Yeah.
be our area for listening. So anytime I see two behavioral signs come up in the same eye, I get really curious. I want to know now more about this behavior. So I would ask Zoe, are you a good listener? Now, I know Zoe, and I know she is a good listener. So I've spent a lot of time with Zoe. One time on the cruise ship, we wrote a little story, and she was just listening to every word I was saying to her, and she was wrapped up in her story for school, and we just kind of bounced ideas back and forth of each other. But she was tuned in, and I could tell we've got a kid that listens. She's going
Yeah.
to listen with her heart to other people, which could make her show empathy towards a lot of people. She's going to not only have listen with your ears. But she listens with her heart. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, so that's one thing that came up that popped up about behaviors that I noticed. Um, in the left eye, let's move over to the left eye. And if you will, look just a little bit above the three
Fine.
o'clock not look to the outside of the collarette, just above the 3 o'clock, we see that little bit of a lacuna. That is going to be in the heart area. Okay. So I would I would tell her that when she speaks, to speak from her heart.
Yeah.
Just, get your heart engaged with whatever you have to say to somebody. Come from love. Speak in love. Because that will serve her well. Then I
Yeah.
dropped down and I noticed at the 4 o'clock position where we would talk about that being related to the pancreas. On the left eye, we see it at 4 o'clock. The right eye, we see it in 8 o'clock. And this is going to revolve around a little bit of jealousy and rivalry. So I would ask her, how do you feel about competition between you and your brothers and sisters? Do you feel like you get left out sometimes, or do you feel like
Mm.
you have a real competitive edge and you need to strive to be first place? I'd ask her about that just to see what she says.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to 6 o'clock, straight at 6 o'clock. We see a radial, yes, a little bit of a radial going down there, but more so when you were talking about the kidneys, that's structure in that
Yeah.
area. So in the left kidney, she shows some separation of fibers, which create that structure right there. Yeah, perfect. The right eye, the same thing. So I would ask her if she feels a need to be perfect. Does she feel like her hair has to be perfect? How does she feel about her body shape and her size? Does she feel she's not tall enough? Does she feel she's different in areas compared to others? And really try to help her understand that there is no such thing as perfection. All we can continue to do is just keep working on ourselves and strive for to be the top, if you will. But there's no such thing as perfect.
That's awesome.
So that's where I would go with. There's a few other markings that I can see, but those are the ones that really stand out to me. Um, she does have, if you look on that right eye at 10 o'clock, we see a little bit of a pigment, just a little tiny pig. That's sitting right in the area of rebellion. And some people think, oh, rebellion is it's a bad thing. Rebellion is not a bad thing. It is. There's been many a rebel that has fought for the cause of good things,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't be in some places that we are today if people had not rebelled. Women would probably not be voting today.
Yeah.
So things changed in the world because people rebelled and they took it out into the streets and they talked about it and they protested over it and they changed. They made change. So you might
Yeah.
have a little rebel on your hands that wants to.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean that's interesting because of her birth order. Her birth order is a four girl,
Yeah,
and as you know, a four girl is like the transformer.
yeah,
She likes to transform the family
yep,
and almost go against the
yep,
family
yep,
to make it better, like to make
yep,
the world better.
yep.
Um, which is interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. We'll talk. I
Mm.
think we should talk about that birth order. Bring up the four girl position that she has and talk about her placement because I know you and I teach birth order. We talk about birth order. I just I just had a little book hit Amazon 2 weeks ago on birth order and siblings of the sacred text. And I have people say to me, wow, this really fits. Or I will work with my clients and I'll tell them about their birth order and they'll, that's why this happens and this happens and this happens. This is why I react to this sibling this way, or this is why I've done the things I've been doing. So it helps us identify with us
Yeah,
better.
absolutely. I mean, as you know, like with birth order, she's a four girl because she comes the fourth after a firstborn girl, and there is a boy in between as well. So I would say she's a four girl, three girl because in social or in socially she's a three girl. She's the third girl in the family, and in a four, and that's the same position, interestingly, as my wife, Sandy,
Mm-hmm.
who loves to change things and make things better. And I haven't seen that in Zoe enormously, but often these tendencies come as we get, more into adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I do know is she's also got, she's very compassionate, and she will speak out if there's like if there's something, let's say something wrong with an animal or with a friend, she will speak out
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very into animals, like so into animals that we've got a new puppy at home that I'm struggling with because it's a puppy and it's jumping around everywhere. But Zoe said to me, when our old dog died, I said to Zoe, she wanted a new dog, and I said, Zoe, you know what, in 4 years' time, you're going to leave home and I'm going to be left with a 4-year-old dog. And as you know, I'm not really a dog person. I have to just admit, I'm not going to just suddenly go click my fingers and become a dog person. And she said, and I don't really want to have a 4-year-old dog when my kids leave home because I want to do traveling and teaching overseas and all of those. And she said, she had her face just dropped and she said, oh, but imagine 4 years without a dog. And I just thought, we just have to get one. Like it was just like she just literally could not even imagine it because
Right.
she's got so much compassion for animals and for
Yeah.
friends. Like she's so good with her friends, but she will definitely work with animals.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
she's just
You
got so.
mentioned you mentioned that she's a four girl, three girl, and I have one in my family. My niece is a four girl, three girl. And what I've noticed about those three girls is their compassion to animals. They would
Yes,
prefer animals over people any day.
yes,
But
yeah,
I have watched my niece, that is the four girl, three girl. She is the changer. She is the one that is the rule breaker, and she's the one that just kind of pushes the envelope to the edge. I mean, she's just like,
yeah,
let me see if I can test you a little bit. But when
yeah,
it comes to animals, she will rank them every time over
yeah,
a human
totally,
being,
yeah,
and she will go
absolutely.
out of her way to protect them. And uh, it's remarkable the love and the compassion that a three girl has for animals.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
so physically, if we looked at this side physically, we've got. I mean, you mentioned these lacuna. We've got a lacuna at 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and they're in the pancreas areas, and we've got another one there around about 8 o'clock, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the gallbladder. Also, it could be pancreas area. Remember when we look at the iris, when you look at a sign, you think, oh, is that the gallbladder? Is that the pancreas? Um, to think of the iris as 3D. So when we're looking at a muscle chart, muscle charts are 2D, but our muscles aren't 2D. They're some muscles are bigger than others, and
Mm-hmm.
some tendons attached to a different spot. And I believe that's the case in our eyes. So when you see a marking that's close to two areas, always ask the question, Just ask them questions, and that will give you the answers.
Mhm.
But also, it's interesting that there's an opposite sign there and
Mhm.
an opposite signs here.
Mhm.
And in the right eye, there's a little bit of a squaring of the collarette. And her older sister has a square collarette.
Mhm.
And I believe that people with a square collarette, that increases the pancreatic tendencies,
Mhm.
but also they're very loving. Like
Mhm.
Zoe is a really loving
Mhm.
girl,
Mhm.
because the pancreas, it's interesting that you mentioned the heart there too, because the pancreas and the heart are very, very connected because they respond to love.
Mhm. Mhm.
That they do well when they feel loved, when they are surrounded by people that they love, and also when they're doing something that they love.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when I see any pancreatic or heart tendencies in anyone, I just say to them that they're the three things that I want you to try and do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I was just
So
talking with one of my students today. We were talking about uh, 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 one of her clients who is a young girl, 12-year-old girl, that is just showing some severe signs of rapid weight gain, and she's having problems with sleep apnea. She's showing signs of prediabetes at this age. And I was explaining to my student that she is reacting in life through her heart. So
yeah,
her heart needs are not being met. She's reaching out and she's eating sugar, that sweetness that she wants back in her life,
absolutely. Yeah,
that is happening. So I was explaining to her, while a physical manifestation is taking place, it is totally
yeah.
fed from an emotional place.
Absolutely. And I believe if they get those things, if they get that love and connection and appreciation from outside, then they don't need to eat Oreos as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's interesting with Zoe's eyes, there's lots of red rings.
Yes.
There's you can see a slight ring of perfection there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the ring of harmony, and she's very much into keeping the peace.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she doesn't like conflict. When she was more little, really didn't like being said no to. You know, she thought that if you said no, that she'd done something wrong almost.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a ring of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
the scurf ring on the edge, and
Mm-hmm.
also she's got rings of accomplishment. And
Mm-hmm.
she is someone who achieves a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, if I leave a list of jobs, you know, on the kitchen bench, you'll know that Zoe's done most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, because she likes to cross things out. People with rings of accomplishment love lists and love crossing things out, I find.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting. You know, I've spent a lot of time, I feel like, with Zoe. When I'm able to spend time with you when you're here.
Yeah.
But this last trip that I spent with her, you know, I feel like she's older now. She's a teenager. I feel like I made a better connection with her, a deeper connection with her.
Yeah.
And so I can see that everything you just said about her is very, very true. So even if you read her like a stranger, you read her perfect because oh, and you know her. But
Yeah.
everything you said was absolutely true, and I agree with because
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I really, really would like to emphasize the power of understanding birth order for helping your clients, for helping your family, for helping you as a brother or sister come to understand yourself a little bit better. Birth order is very much in tune with who you are, and your children, Chris, they're almost textbook perfect.
Yeah, they are.
You know, according to that birth order structure,
Yeah.
your oldest one, she fits the one girl. Toby fits
Absolutely.
that two girl, one boy
Yeah.
completely,
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
So you could have written your own different book on birth order, and you'd absolutely nail it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's
And
really, really.
birth orders are really the reason why we had 5 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because after the third, Sandy wanted more kids, and then I said, if we're going to bring more into the world, we have to do the birth order course.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew up to the Gold Coast where Tony Miller was running a course with Edith Cuff, and we did a 5-day course. And because I just knew that if we're going to have more kids, we have to treat them differently for
Mm-hmm.
them to reach their highest potentials.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, I know that you're going to have a birth order class real soon, aren't you?
I had it yesterday.
Oh, you did. Was it
So I'm
just
gonna
a
have
one day event?
yeah, I'm gonna have another one
Okay.
in about a month or two. So I'll let you
Okay.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
I am too. So I know that um, I'm scheduled. I think, oh, I haven't put it out there yet. This is kind of new news, but July the 20th, I think I'm going to have a 3-part birth order class, and it is going to be on that new book that I just wrote, Siblings of Sacred Text. So I'll
Awesome.
explain birth order. I will explain the figures in the Bible that refer to that birth order. So we'll be talking about Moses and his siblings. We'll be talking about Lazarus and his sisters. We'll be talking about King David. We'll talk about Jesus a little bit and typical one boy. Jesus was typical one boy.
Oh
Imagine
yeah.
that. Imagine that. And then I want to talk about Esau and Jacob, the twins, who were totally different. But I
Interesting.
believe that their difference was because of the way their parents pitted those two against each other. So it's going to be fun. And then the third part of that is I'm going to be doing personal readings for everyone in the class. So uh, just keep that in mind. And then I want to see your birth order class advertised all over the place
Yeah.
because you teach a very good class. You and I have co-taught together birth order several times. We'll be doing it again.
Yeah. I love it. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite topics ever.
Me too. I
Jenny
love it.
Johnson. Jenny Johnson is literally so well, so inspiring, but just the how this all came to him
Mhm.
initially was incredible. It just fits so much.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So I would like to see more iridologists know about it, whether you choose to use it or not. I would really like to see more iridologists understand it
Well,
and
I think it's also good for any parent.
it's perfect for any parent. Um, you know what I think everybody should know. When I was a baby, there was a book out, and it was about written by a man, Dr. Spock. I think that was his name. Oh, and he wrote all about how to raise children and how to potty train them and how to put them to sleep and how to feed them and how to do all these, this and that and this and that. And it was needed. Birth order is also very much needed today
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
help understand and guide your child in that direction.
Yeah.
And I know that's what you've done with your children. And it's amazing to see your children today. You know, I saw them when they were little, and now I'm looking at them when they're grown. And
No.
I know that you and Sandy both have used that foundation of birth order, and it's been beautiful because your children are reaching a beautiful full potential of who they really are. And I know that that's partly because of birth order, and the rest of it's y'all and your genes and everything you bring to the
Thank you.
table for the kids. So
Yeah.
kudos for you.
Thank you. But I think it's time to play a game.
Oh, I've got a question.
Oh,
I do have a
okay.
question, and
I
it
want
is
to pick a
on.
number.
You want to pick a number? Well, you better pick number 19
I picked
because I
19.
I kind of picked it for you. Well, I'm glad you like 19. Here it is. So these are actual written questions by someone. Makes you think. Here it goes. It's kind of long. When I was first married, my husband had 2 daughters from his first marriage. Together, we had 2 more children, a son and a daughter, in that order. My daughter has always been a challenge. Her brother is very calm and easygoing, but she has always argued and challenged us as parents. She told us one time that she was the adult and we were the children. Please help
Wow.
me understand this situation from a birth order standpoint.
Okay. So did you say that the older children were 2 girls?
2 girls, yes.
2 girls. Fabulous. So the way I would see it is that the birth order, the order of birth comes from the father's line because that's the genetic line of picking the sex. Like the father has the XY chromosome.
Yeah.
So she's going to be a 4 girl because the father has had 4 children, so she's going to be a 4 girl.
Mm-hmm.
Did the older children live with the younger children?
You know what? It does not say, it did not stipulate that, but I would tell you that when they first married, my husband had two girls from his previous marriage. It doesn't tell us if the children are in the house or not.
Yeah.
So you can give
Well,
two scenarios here if
yeah,
you'd
well,
like.
let's presume that they weren't. Let's presume that they weren't. So this girl is a four girl, but she grew up socially as a two girl or a two boy almost.
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
socially. And then a one girl. So she's going to have a lot of yang in her, a lot of yang as well as that transforming yin. So she's going to be a transformer. So she's going to go against what the family says, not because she's nasty, but because she
Right,
wants to make the world a better place. And she's
right.
obviously in a, and I think any order is brilliant.
Mm-hmm,
It's just if you're in balance or out of balance.
mm-hmm,
And she sounds like she's a four girl out of balance.
mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's going against the family kind of makes me think that she's not really, she almost feels like she's not understood there.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that it's almost like an egg in your yolk, like she's got that yin of the four girl,
Mm-hmm.
but she's also got that yang of the two boy one girl in the family that she's growing up in. So she's almost like got that fire, but with that sort of yin coating.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
She's she
she's
she
trying to
sounds
push
like a
boundaries.
mixture,
Yeah,
just a big mixture. And if the two oldest girls are out of the house and it's a brother and her, if it's just
yeah,
those two, she is going to feel more like that two boy, one girl position, that double yang. And she is
yeah,
going to be fire. And she would turn around and tell the parents, I'm the parent, you're the child.
absolutely. Yeah,
That's that's typical of a two boy, one girl. I mean,
yeah.
that's a very strong, powerful position. Now, if the
And the
other
best
two,
thing for those people is um to have to have a lot of, because a two boy one girl will act like a two boy with that fire, but with that
Mhm,
a lot of
mhm,
sensitivity. So she's got a lot of
mhm,
sensitivity in her, and I think she probably doesn't feel understood. But I think the best thing is for to have clear boundaries that you can't cross,
mhm, mhm,
and especially from the dad.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
And you don't wait till they're 15 to instill that.
Oh no,
You
well,
you start that.
it's literally game over by the 15
Oh,
because
it's done. Yeah.
they're just going to rebel.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I would tell you that things could look a little different when the two older girls come back into the house,
Yes.
to visit or whatever, you
To
know,
stay. No, I
to
mean, the
stay.
scenario is if they were
Yeah.
all living together, she would be a
Hmm.
four girl. She'd
Hmm.
be a four girl, three girl.
Four
So
of three. Yeah.
probably that would give her, maybe that would give her more peace in their family. Because at the moment she's acting like a queen
Hmm.
that is on a mission.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Mm,
So yeah, when the two older sisters come back in, we would see that shift back into that 4-3, that
yeah.
four girl, three girl position. Um, yeah.
Which is I would call that the transformative healer, the four girl, three girl position.
Yeah.
Because three girls are healers, they're into
Hmm.
nature, they're
Hmm.
very community oriented. And a four girl, as we know, is the transformer.
Yeah, but you're right about
She
putting the
likes to
boundaries
change
in
things.
place,
Mm.
instilling those that it has to be done in a
Yeah,
early point.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting question.
It was an interesting question. And that's how we do birth order.
Yeah,
That is how we do birth order. Oh, listen, I've had fun today.
me too. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. We should try to do one of these, maybe one a month, maybe, where
Absolutely.
you and I talk. I mean, I love talking to other people, and it's not that we can. I mean, we can, but this is fun. Just
Yeah,
looking at some eyes and talking about the eyes from all different perspectives.
yeah. And I'm really excited about the person we got ready for next week. We'll keep it
What do
as a surprise.
you want to drop a hint or tell us where or
Well,
where are we going?
Asia.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Hmm.
That's all I need to know. I will see you next week then.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy. Bye.
Oh, bye, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Love you all.
Oh, absolute two thumbs up. All right,
Bye.
dear.